Well, hello out there in YouTube land. Well, I got to picking up parts and checking some stuff and found out I needed to re-weatherproof the seams on my EBNS Rainfly. So I thought I'd take y'all along on this trip. Stick around and we'll get right to it. This is Surviving 2 coming to you with another video. Thanks for sticking around, I appreciate it. Well, what started all this fiasco was me buying this. This little bag started all this, which it needed it, so might as well. Now this little bag contains a ground sheet for the enhanced bed net system. The new one that's out there now, they kind of changed the name of it and whatever. And this little part is for underneath the whole Rainfly and everything else. Now, talk more about this and show more about it later on in another video. But right now, I'll go ahead and give you the part number. 98601-GS. And you should see it here on the screen. So this little part made me get out the EBNS and check it and do some other stuff, because I found one that said it was a full sheet, ground sheet for underneath the rain cover. Not. It was only big enough for the bed itself. So anyway, I'll show you how I mix up the stuff here pretty quick, and then how I go to applying it. And I've already applied a whole bunch of this to this, and I'll show you what's going on. So stick around, let me get the cameras all set up, and I'll show you what's up. All right, now here I've got the cameras set up for close-up and everything else. You might see it down here in front of you, I don't know if it's in the shot or not, but here's everything I've got to put this stuff on with. And this is what it is right here. And I'll show you a close-up of it here. And I am having to deal with about 25-mile-an-hour winds today. So it's wanting to blow everything the hell off. Now, this is good for silicone back tarps, things like that. Don't use it on, try and use it on a canvas tarp. You can, but you're wasting your time. Now, this stuff comes with a small brush inside of this kit, and this is what it looks like here. Now, when I did the first go around and everything that I've used so far on the Rainfly, I didn't think to make this video until I'm already done with the Rainfly and testing it, and I thought, well, you know, other people might be interested in what the hell I'm doing here. So here it is, a little after the fact, but you'll still get the idea. So I use this one brush, and this is everything that I've used out of the first tube. I got a second tube just in case I need it for other tarps, other things, whatever. So that way I'll have this thing left over. Now, what I do with it is I'll figure out about how far I want to go. And they say to take, I think it's isopropyl alcohol, and wipe down your seams before you put this stuff on. I never did. So far I hadn't had any issues with it adhering. It's adhered real well, and it's done real nice. I'll show you pictures of it here after a bit. So anyway, what I did is I take, now here's what I clean the brushes up with, try that again, and I also thin the adhesive or silicone sealant or whatever you want to call it down with. I use this stuff here, and I'll put a little bit of it into this little cup right here, which that's all it is, just a little cup. I'm not mixing in it or anything else like that. I'm just putting, so it's easier to get it than out of this bottle. I can get it out of here a lot easier. So anyway, all right, that's that. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll use this right here and suck it up out of here, and then that's what I use to judge the amount of fluid that I'm putting in with the silicone sealant, so that way I can spread it out and thin it out a little bit. And then these you can get these things off of eBay, Amazon, wherever. They're fairly inexpensive. That was a pack of 5, I think, for not much. I forget what, but anyway, that's all I use that little jar for. Let's see if I can put it someplace where it doesn't fly off because of the wind. I'm dealing with about 20-25 mile an hour winds out here today. Okay, so here's the second little jar. Now this is what I mix it in. This right here is just a little, like your cough syrups and stuff like that. It's a little lid off of it, but it's one that's smooth on the inside and there's no ribs in there, so that way it's easier for me to deal with doing what I need to do with this. I've got a bigger brush, but I haven't used it. I tried using it at first and I didn't like it because it was so much bigger, so I stuck with using the brush that they gave me. Now a thing about that is this small brush here, it's almost too long on the bristles. I'm almost thinking about taking the bristles and cutting them about halfway down, whereas this one I've already done it. I've already cut this one about halfway down, so that way it's a little bristly, but like I say, I hadn't used this one yet. I've been working on this little one here. Now, like I say, that's what I've used. This is what I stir everything up with, a little popsicle stick. So I'll take and stick some down in here, and I'll do that here in a minute and show you how it works. And then I'll take the popsicle stick and I'll stir it up and add some of the mineral spirits to it, so that way it thins it out, and it also cleans it up real well. And I have to get a couple other rags and some other stuff set up for doing that with. So I'll get all that set up, and I'll be gone for a few minutes doing all that, but to you it'll only be a few seconds, so see you then. Well, I've got the Rainfly set up over there, and I've got everything I need here. I've already poured some mineral spirits out, and it's off camera because of the wind. I'm trying to keep it safe in one place where it doesn't get blown up. I'm drawing out some mineral spirits now, way more than what I need to mix with, but I use it later on. So this is what I've drawn out so far, that much of it. And I'll lay that down there, turn this over and try and hang on to it so it doesn't get blown away. Let's open this up. I can't see what's on screen because of the reflection. All right, don't need much because this first repair is going to be a fairly small one. So I'm just going to put a little out here until I think I've got enough. Now this, I don't mix it really thin, but I don't leave it really thick. It's way too thick. I've seen several videos on how to do this, and one of them talks about just sucking it up into this little syringe here and then squirting it out. No, I don't want to do that. That's way too hard. 1, 2, 3, yeah, I lost track of drips. So I'll just put a little bit in there, and then I'll take my stir stick and get it back here where you can see what's going on, hopefully. You might not see much, but what I'm doing is mixing it up now. Doesn't take long. Mixes pretty well. Don't want it very thick, but I don't want it really watery. So I want to be able to get it to stick to what I'm putting it to. There we go. All right, now I don't know if I can get this up to where you guys can see it. I'm gonna put it right in front of the lens because, like I say, I can't see the lens. I want it runny, but I don't want it really runny. And I want it to be able to see how it strings a little bit. That's about right. That's a good amount. Yeah. See how it strings out a little bit? So that'll work pretty good right there. All right, get this. I'll let that stick somewhere where it won't stick to something. All right, now I'm gonna take the little camera and we'll go over here to the tarp, the Rainfly. I gotta get everything gathered up so it'll go, so we can move with it. Turn this around where I can see what's going on too. All right. Okay, right here is where I'm gonna be working, and somewhere in this area is where it was leaking. And it's probably where the seam is folded over onto this other material. It's hard to get up in under that seam and get it sealed up. So what I gotta do, get positioned here, is take this brush and get a little bit on there and just go along that seam and brush it onto that seam. You're probably not able to see very much of what I'm doing, but I'm just making sure I get a good amount on that joint and try and seal any hole that it might be. Now this is where that syringe would have been helpful, putting it up underneath these seams so that it sealed better. But I'm trying to deal with that thing, mix it up, everything else, I'm not going to mess with it. I'll just do this. Okay, almost done. It stays pliable for a pretty good while. Takes about an hour for it to completely set, real nice and hard. So you've got a little less than an hour's time of working with it. Let's see, where did I stop? Right there. And it'll take about an hour for it, like I said, to set. And I try not to get too crazy with it. I didn't get a good indication when I was testing it as to where it was coming from. So I'm just treating this whole area right here. Started all the way up here from where I tie at. There was a gap up here. I don't know if that's on camera or not, I hope so. But I started up there and then all the way down to here. And you can see some of the seam sealing. I hope with this camera, I'm trying not to get this shit all over everything. It's like really hard. So see if I can get a reflection of kneeling on my cord. Got about 30 things going on here at once. So you can see okay, there's that seam. There's another one. This is an air vent when the Rainfly is set up so that you can open it and close it from the inside, and the outside has a little door on it. About to lose something. I don't have enough friggin' hands. Okay, so there's where I kind of started. I was hoping to be able to get a reflection on this to where you could see what's going on, and maybe that's it. Maybe you can see that reflection with the sunlight on it. Of where I started down the center of each seam, and then I went a little over the edge, and especially where this thread is exposed to the other side. And you asked me why don't I put it on the other side? Because I didn't want this shiny ass sealant on the outside reflecting any light. I wanted to keep it as dull as possible. So that's why I'm here on the inside doing this. All right, so that's got that covered up, and we'll let it dry. Let's get that back here where you can see I did this whole section all the way up to right in there. So let me go ahead, and now I got to clean everything up, use the mineral spirits to clean it up with, and we'll be good to go. So I'll see you on the next part of this. Well, I'm going to end this video here. After trying to do all of that on that thing and hang on to everything, I felt like I was trying to fuck a football. So that's just too much. I got 4 more places to go, and I've got to get it done. I need to get it done today, because this stuff here, it says that to apply it above 60 degrees Fahrenheit or 16°C, so that it does right. But I'm getting it warmer than that, so that way it doesn't take as long to dry. And like I say, I got 4 more places, and I've got to wait an hour in between each one, so that way it kind of dries pretty good and cures. And then that way I can go ahead and flip the Rainfly to the next section and do it. And I've got it laid out on a tarp, on a painter's tarp, and it's just pinned out there with just it right against the tarp. Don't let anything get underneath it other than the painter's tarp, and I haven't had a problem there. Now, when I first started doing it, I had it folded up on itself, and I started the first layer with just the silicone and no thinning, no nothing, and it was literally going through the material to the other side, and I ended up having to, I messed a little bit of the thing up doing that. So don't do that. Lay it out single on the painter's tarp, as big of an area as you can get, or you want to do it one time, do it, and then go ahead and let it dry and move on to your next area. Pin it open, or just spread it back to where you can get to it. And like I said, that should do it. I'll probably show you a couple of pictures here of when I set it up for the test, and I think I had trying to remember, that's been a couple of weeks ago now. I think I did have the ground sheet down under it, so you might be able to see it underneath it. So anyway, like I said, that's it for this one. Not that hard to do, just, you know, like I say, just lay it flat, thin it out just a little bit, and don't go hog wild crazy with it, and it should be good. So I've got that to finish up, and it's already 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I don't have much daylight left to get the other 4 splots. Anyway, that's it for me now. Catch y'all later on the next one. Until then, stay safe out there. Later.
I want to thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more in the future that I put out, just subscribe. Until then, later.
I'll say, okay, so this is sink shot take number 2. Sink tone coming up. Fucking crap. Okay, hang on, let me go chase everything down.